Hey everyone, thank you for coming to the call today. This is Tracy with Quantum Healing Systems, and today I have our wonderful ambassadors online with us. We have Ron Giles from Love One Society, Alex Collier from the Knights of Terra, and Will Barney from Enoch Global Systems. Hey guys, how you doing today?
Doing really well.
Doing great.
This is Ron. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, we love doing these monthly calls together because the ambassadors are just powerful leaders in the white hat movement, and they are just leading the path for all of us in so many ways. So we're going to just talk a little bit about what quantum healing systems is. So essentially, quantum healing systems believes that frequency is everything and everything is frequency. And the mission here is to literally heal the world using frequency so that your body can literally heal itself. And we provide the quantum twine wave effect along with daily coaching on lifestyle changes for both your physical body, your spirit, and your mindset, so that we create this whole package using the quantum twine wave effect. And you guys, why don't you share a little bit about what you have noticed since using the quantum twine wave?
Well, pick somebody
Alex,
to
you
go
can go
first.
Ron, be my guest.
It's kind of it's subtle. You know, when I first got it, the black device, it was subtle in what it was doing, and but it was doing really good things. But then I had a gout attack, and so I strapped it to my knee where the gout shows up. And usually a gout attack takes a week to get over, including all the stuff that you have to take with it. But it was over within 2 days for me. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have really known that it has some curing effects on problems. But it does. And if you have something really wrong with you, then it reaches a threshold where you recognize that its value. It could be your pain or other things that you have going wrong with you. But the point is it does work. Now, when I got the white device, I could feel it here in my heart when I'm wearing it. I'm recharging it right now, so I usually wear it over my heart. And my heart just, I'll say, fell in love with it because of the effects that it has in it not only in my heart, but in all of the things that are associated with this body. So I found that there's, you know, I'm going to say it this way. If you don't believe it's working, do like what Dr. Alfredo has said, and that's to take it off, turn it off, or put it someplace that's further out than 24 or 48 inches from you, and leave it there until and then you can see, because your body is going to respond to that, and it's going to look around and say, hey, what have you done? This isn't right. I don't like it like this. And so you'll get a feel for it being away from you, and you'll want to have it back. So, and I have some ideas that I'd like to share sometime, maybe today or some other time, about why some people are not feeling anything, and ways that possibly can be used to help that. But I know that it works. I've proven it to myself. So And my brother
Me too.
got rid of all of his cancer. He doesn't have any PSA at all anymore. So, and he was having heart problems, and it solved all of those kinds of things for him. So I know it works, and it'll be a wonderful thing if everybody had something that's very serious that they can heal. But sometimes we're just going through life, and it's just cleaning our blood and doing all kinds of stuff that we have no idea about. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it absolutely is crazy. I had Dr. Gloria do a test on me. Well, she wanted to do it before I got the HHS just the other day, and she had done one maybe 4 months ago. You can't believe the difference in all of my numbers. We're talking, I don't know, over 900 fields of information that she's already analyzed. Big,
Is
big,
that
big
Dr.
changes.
Gloria or Darlene?
Dr. Gloria.
Dr. Gloria. Okay, cool.
Yeah, she'll do one for you if you ask her. Alex, tell us how you've improved.
Well,
What have you noticed?
I've spoken about this several times. But I've had a lot of aches and pains from being thrown out of helicopters and things like that. I also had a significant surgery where I had a double mesh put in, and at some point they began to separate. And tissue had already grown all over it, and muscle, and there was no way to actually fix it without literally removing all of the growth that had already been there. So it was a constant source of pain. It was 24/7. Some days were a lot worse than others. So other than that, I was very cognizant of dealing with all the other little things that I had, but that was an absolute constant. And I got the black device that was sent to me, and I charged it up, and it literally sat on my end table for a week before I picked it up. And then I picked it up, and I charged it one more time. And I slept with it 3 nights in a row in that area where the mesh was. And by the fourth morning, it was gone. I did not feel pain. And to
Wow.
this day, I don't have any pain there. It's almost as if it never happened. And I can't explain that. Other than when Dr. Alfredo said what it does is it takes the foreign objects and it tells your body to assimilate it so that it becomes part of the body. The body, in other words, recognizes it as part of your structure. That's the only thing that made sense to me, because nothing worked.
Wow.
All the Aleve in the world didn't fix it. And it's awesome. And every day, I get better and better and better. And, I get up in the morning and, nothing creaks, nothing cracks, there's no ouches, um, Merlin's up to 6 walks a day now because we're ready to go. So it's good stuff. It's really, really good stuff. If it weren't winter, we'd be hiking in the mountains. So,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
Well, how about you?
Hi there. Sorry, I'm in a location where the light's not real good. You know what? This device is incredible, and I know we talk about it all the time, but I had the black device first, kind of like Alex was saying. About 3 days in, I started to feel the effects, but it seemed subtle. This was like unbelievable. When I first turned it on, it's like could almost feel it buzzing. And it was incredible the results that began to come very quickly while using the white device. So I recognized right away that this was much stronger than the previous prototype. And some of the interesting things that occurred for me is I felt like it really smoothed out my emotional state. Like nothing seemed to bother me or was upsetting at all. I felt like that came very quickly. After a couple of months, I stopped getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That was kind of nice after doing that for 10 years. And so there's all kinds of things that have come from it. My brother-in-law's got one, and he, I just talked to my sister a few hours ago, and he wanted her to tell me that his prostate's working again, and he's excited about that. So it's incredible the effects that are happening from this device, and it's not just myself. I've got other family members that have it, and everyone's talking about improvement in every way possible. I feel like my clarity of mind improved. So yeah, this is you can't tell me this doesn't work, because when you have your own experience, you know. And there is a reality here that we are part of a world that interacts on frequency. We are light beings that interact with each other on a level of frequency. That's how intention works. That's how the God spark works. It's all based on this. And so when you start using a technology like this that's made for you, that's made for our bodies the way that we are, it's incredible what takes place. And so I'm just super excited about where this is going, because it only gets better from here.
Awesome. Well, let me clarify one thing. This is simply like a transmitter, okay? This is not what does the work. It's the wave that does work. This is like just the receiving point. I don't know what you guys would call it, but it's the quantum twine wave that comes through into this and through to us, right? So it's actually the wave that does the work, not the device. This is like a receiver. Is that what you would call it?
Transmitter. Mhm.
Yeah, transmitter.
Receiver,
It receives
transmitter.
and transmits, yes, both. So that
Okay.
it receives the wave, and then it transmits that to the body through the antenna that's built into here. So that's how we receive it.
Right.
You
Well,
might
let me
want to
explain how
explain
this
where the
works.
wave comes from.
Well, I will say what I can. What this device does is it scans your body looking for weak signals of frequency. Then it feeds up, loops up to our network, and then brings back a wave of male and female frequency through the device into us to improve the weak signals. Okay. So wherever it is within an individual's body, that's what it's going to work on. It's like peeling back the layers of the onion. And so I'll share to you guys what my biggest profound experience was. Is I'm an athlete, and during a hard workout, all of a sudden I started getting irregular heartbeat. Like it would go really, really high and then really, really low, and I'd get dizzy and lightheaded, and it just was really frightening. And ever since I've been with QHS, which is now going on, gosh, it's actually over 10 months that I've had a device, I have not had a single episode. So, or maybe I've had one, but I used to get at least probably 2 or 3 a week. And it's wonderful. And I still work out really, really hard, and I don't have anything. So this is my big aha, put it back in my pocket. And
That's
so
what
did
it
you
is.
guys know what?
So that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, that's a pocket.
Women have pockets.
So because it's Heart Month and we're talking about heart health, we have a little Valentine special. Are you guys aware of it? Do you know about what it is?
Like to hear more about it.
Yeah, tell us what we
Okay.
got.
So here's what we got. So we've been closed, right? So we're reopening membership starting on Valentine's Day. It's called Friends Helping Family Heal Throughout the Year. Share the Quantum Love. And the way it works is for $400, an individual can join and benefit by being part of the QT Trial study. And that means that you get a device at no cost to you. And then you can refer friends and family who will receive a 50% off of their donation. So instead of their membership being $400 a year, they get it at $200 a year. Okay. So that's really cool.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
then if you refer 5, then you receive the home healing system for a donation of $1,800 versus, I want to say it was $3,500 or $3,600. So that's quite a big discount to get the home healing system. And Alex, I know you have one. Can you tell us what you've noticed with it?
Well, it's interesting. I had it right here by the desk, and now it's over there where it goes right up the stairwell, the frequency, so it fills the house. And I started moving it up slowly. I started at 10, went to 20 to 30, now it's at 35. And with the animals, it has calmed down the animals. I have a dog and 2 cats. And they get into it. But they haven't got into it since I had turned this thing on here. Everybody seems really chill. And I also have a son who has some autism. And it's amazing how it has changed his demeanor dramatically. He's just very calm. He's just very calm. There's no outbursts of any kind at all ever since we've had this in the house. And for myself, it's just, I know it's here. I feel it. My body absolutely is just it just humps when I'm around it. Sometimes there's difficult words for it. But whenever I go out of the house and I don't have this in my pocket, even if it's to walk the dog, by the time I get half a mile away, I'm like, oh God, I can feel that I don't have the frequency with me. My body knows just like that. And I could almost clock it to a stop sign where when we stop to make a right turn to go around the block, my body feels it. It feels the lack of the frequency. So it's really, really remarkable. And what works for me is that as long as I'm in this house, I have no pain whatsoever. Anywhere. It's just like, that's what it does for me. I know it's doing a lot of other things and it's fixing things. And I know just to be patient and allow it to do its thing. But I never leave the house now without without the white device. Because as soon as I get half a mile from here or half a block, I know I have a problem. And my body starts to feel heavy. When I'm around this or with this, I don't have that heavy feeling. It's almost as if I'm defying gravity. And I know how crazy that sounds, but it almost feels like I'm defying gravity. It's just, and everybody's different with this. It's the coolest thing.
Wow.
Like being on a
That's
starship.
Incredible, Alex. Can't wait to get one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like being on a starship. No gravity.
Well, you would know.
Yes, ma'am, I would.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
That's
It's
awesome. So So that's quite a value, I believe, because that's like, if you refer 5 friends and family members, then essentially it's like a $350 credit for each one, but it has to be 5 and it's limited to 1 deal per individual. Okay. So there's that.
How long is the offer available? Is it just through the end of February?
Yep. Good question, Will. Just through the end of February.
Okay.
So, because we had a lot of people that were like, we want to join, we want to join. And so Cynthia came up with this beautiful offer, which I think is a great value, especially now that we're shipping HHS. So very cool. So the next thing I kind of wanted to ask you guys, and Will, you can go first on this if you don't mind, is how have you grown in the last year? And how has your leadership, you know, you're a white hat leader, and you have a passion to help people all along the way. How has that vision for yourself grown, or how have you personally grown for the better in a way that you just love?
Well, it's been interesting. I actually spoke with Cynthia earlier today about this. It's remarkable how we begin to function when we have the frequencies, when we have the twine wave frequencies. And we found that we're reaching levels of clarity about our purpose and what we're here to do in a way that we haven't experienced before. And so it's very interesting. The last 6 months have been a almost a time of self-discovery all over again about, okay, let's get clarity about where we're going and next steps. And that's just come so easily. And I have to think this, because I think the device is really helping us function at our highest level. And I think it's really helped us to gain that heart mind connection that I think is so essential. You know, we can't just be in our minds all the time or in our heart all the time. We're meant to work together. And I think that works so well when we have the frequencies and we're in that mode. And I think that's why, you know, maybe Alex is experiencing it. His animals even love it, right? They're behaving so well. And so I think this is really affecting all human life, but not just human life, all life, because it works with the planet. It works with the frequencies here, and everything that's on the planet that's living is benefiting from this. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I remember Dr. A saying something about plants, you know, are even affected. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I have
Alex, how about
Norfolk-
you?
I have 2 Norfolk pines in my bedroom that are growing in front of the window, and they have grown 3 inches in the last 7 weeks. And it's winter.
Whoa.
And it's winter ever since I put this in the house. Yeah, they're just straight up. And the cats, you know, cats are energy junkies. They love energy. You know, they're on the counter. If we turn our back, I turn my back, they're on the counter. You know, they're just like hovering around it, you know, walking over stuff just to get as close to it as they can get. And I have stuff blocking it for that reason, because I know that the frequency just goes out. But yeah, they're all over it. It's amazing.
Will you do me a
Yeah.
favor, Alex? Will you share that your HHS with the audience so they can see what we're talking about? Can you grab it? Is it possible?
Well, no, it's over here. It's plugged into the wall. Well, let me see. See what I can do. All right, guys, we're going mobile.
Woohoo! Alex is home.
Can you see it there?
Oh yeah, it looks like a
Yeah.
white toast.
Yeah, there it is.
Like
right
a
here.
toaster.
I got angels and then you know, laundry soap and hand soap and stuff trying to block it so the cats can't get to it.
So it's not really that big, yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, is it heavy?
No, about 6 pounds, I think. 6 or 7 pounds.
Okay,
You know, not, it shouldn't be for an
nice.
athlete. Shouldn't be for an athlete, you know. But
Well, I'm just saying for the average, human that wants to carry it around to, tour their home. Like I figure I'd put it in the bedroom when I'm sleeping and in the family room and kitchen when I'm in there.
well, I have it there, but
Yeah.
I sleep with these. So
Okay, got it.
well, anyway, I'm sorry that
I
was
can't wait, being amazed with this and then to go to use this in addition to that. I think it's interesting. Now, I'm kind of curious. Do you feel like the personal device is in sync with the home device?
there is a difference. The HHS, when you talk about clarity, man, when I'm in the house and I'm near this, I don't have to use my crayons as much. But when I leave the house, I have to use my crayons. But it's you will know the difference. It's hard to explain, but it's almost as if it's like this cocoon, you know. And I look for reasons not to have to leave the house because I just don't want to go out. I just want to be with it. If that makes any sense,
Interesting. Yeah, it does.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like a warm hug, like a warm fuzzy. You just don't want to go.
All I need is a wood burning fireplace, and I probably would never leave.
Except to get wood.
Yeah,
Yeah, good point.
I'd have them
Good
deliver
point.
it.
There you go.
So Alex,
That's why you
how
have
about
neighbors.
you?
What?
How have you changed, Alex? Like, as far as your evolution into being a better leader for this white hat movement, or personally changed in a way that you just love?
You know, we're always evolving. And you know, wisdom comes from experience and experience comes from poor judgment. And as long as you understand and you've learned those lessons, you don't continue to make poor judgment, use poor judgment. So I think those things have kind of come together. But you know, Tracy, I'm in a place in my life where I want to train and I want to inspire other leaders. That's where I'm at this point in my life. I want to just inspire other leaders, other people to come forward, step forward and say, okay, you know, Alex, we got this. And I'm so I can step back and do other things in my life, like humanitarian projects and things like that. That's really where I'm going here soon, as soon as I can, because there is such a need for that. And I feel like as far as talking and lecturing, you know, I've done that nearly 35 years. And I did it when it wasn't cool. And there was nobody else there. And I just feel like it's time to put the baton down and move on to something else, because there's so much disclosure now that none of this is going to fall through the cracks anymore. You know, everybody else has the baton. Dr. Sala, JP, so many others, they have the batons and they're moving it forward. And we have disclosure from Space Force. So I don't have to stress worrying about that anymore. So you know, for me, I'm about to make a right turn and do some humanitarian things. And the first thing I'm going to do is here in my own local areas, get homeless veterans off the street.
Mm.
The very first thing I'm going to do.
That reminds me, the Valor Project, it's about about time we start talking about that again.
Well, now that the home healing system is out, yes, we can start talking about that.
Cool.
Yeah,
We're both on that
exactly right.
committee. So that'll be very, very valuable and helpful with your project because they need to heal as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I think we'll probably start talking about that after the initial protocol period, when we all start handing in our notes and but I'm excited. I couldn't be more excited, you know. And moving into the humanitarian programs, I can involve my kids and they can learn what it's like to truly help others and be of service instead of whining that they don't have the newest Xbox game and shit like that.
That's funny. And I'm glad you said that because basically for the listeners, right now we're in beta testing and we're in safety protocols and Dr. A is still programming and checking things and making adjustments along the way. So we have a very, very small group of beta testers. And then once we see that everything's going the way he wants it to go, then the big rollout will come. So I'm glad that you said that. And with the passing the baton, you guys, all three collectively, oh my gosh, leadership experience that you have. I was talking to Cynthia today, like it would be kind of cool to have some sort of a leadership training or whatever for bringing people up in the work that is helpful to be done because you guys are kind of all come from a different place, but I feel
Right.
like you all meet in the middle and you all have different wisdom to add to something like that. So not to put something on your plate, but that
Well,
thought just came through me.
and I know you're going to be talking to him next, but Ron, he has set up a program that will benefit every community. So, I can speak for myself. For the most part, I'll be following his lead, when we're able to roll this whole thing out and all the other programs, I'll be following Ron's lead because, he's got it figured out and I couldn't be more impressed. So you're
Wow. Thank you, Alex.
up. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Ron, that is perfect segue over. So I guess Alex has watched our videos and read your PDFs and Love One Society is going to help the world. That's for darn sure. So
Well,
Ron,
that's
how
the
do you
intent
think you've
for it.
evolved?
Well, sometimes you have to stop and look back and see where you were until you see where you are now. For this past, I got my black device sometime in March or April of last year. So we're getting up to pretty close to a year. And then I had the white device. I let my brother use 2 of them because of his cancer. And he gave one back because he doesn't have any PSA readings at the present time. So it's been a blessing for me to have it with me, if you see what I'm saying. Now, as I look back, and it's hard for me to understand when it took place, but I have a very close relationship with the Alliance, and I've had a lot of questions. You don't ask questions to the Alliance and then they just give you the answer. No, you have to think about it. And then you can inquire and say if you can get confirmation on what you think. This past year, I've been getting downloads about the order of heaven, about Prime Creator, and our relationship with Prime Creator as we're his children. and not just his children. He gave us a part of him that we call the God spark. And we got an individuation of his total prime creator's total intellect, his perfect love, his perfect intelligence. All of these things came with us as we were expanded out into the creation. These are the kinds of things that I have been getting downloads about. And I'm going to have to just simply say that the frequencies that I'm receiving at that level have given me a lot of opportunity for the heavens to download to me the things that are for my best good. And I try and share that with people, and some people who've been raised in the cabal's way of conditioning themselves and doing things. It's been a stretch for them to acquire some kind of a belief system. But as they do, and as they let go of the old stuff, lives are changing. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'm going to say this: I have inquired about Dr. Alfredo and these devices and the things that he's doing with the Twine Wave and all of the things that are coming from that. I look at the Twine Wave as being the male and female energies working together. If you separate them, then they're not as effective. Each of us have that male and female part of our bodies. I mean, we expand ourselves into or project ourselves into a male or female in the third dimension. But we get both male and female. I have a left brain and a right brain. The left brain is the male and the female is on the right brain. And that's the balance that we have as we got here. The Twine Wave, the QT device, QT Wave, the white device and the black one for that matter, are adding to me what I am trying to be, what I need to be to fulfill my responsibilities as the leader, as the overseer of Love One Society. And I'm just going to have to say that this is sacred technology that we're dealing with here. Some people don't really pick up on that and feel it. And I say, well, you've got to ask for it. If you're not feeling it, then ask for it. Learn how to love other people. Learn how to be love as a way of life. That is the friendliness that the frequencies are looking for to really come in and change who we are. If you're having some problems, then ask for the help. Ask God for the help you need.
Mm-hmm.
And then ask for the Twine Waves to take its most effective way for you to heal your body. Ask and it shall be given. Now, when you ask and say, well, I'm not good enough for that to happen, well, you just canceled your asking. But if you doubt not, fear not, but be believing, then all things shall work out for the best good of those that love God. When he says all things, it's a promise, all things. So if you make a mistake, and it can be a critical mistake, but if you doubt not and fear not and maintain that, then that allows God to help you and your soul to lead you in your inner guidance system to the right place, and you'll be at the right place at the right time for the things that are going to happen to you that fulfill your purpose on being here in this life. That's why
Yeah.
I call this sacred technology. That's why
And
the
I'm glad you
heavens
said that.
call it sacred. Pardon me?
Because I'm glad you said that, because the other topic I want to discuss with you guys is God spark and what that means to you. But the way you said to direct the wave brings me to my first introduction with Cynthia about what the God spark is. And I want to share that with you guys and with your audiences. So essentially, Cynthia used to work at Lawrence Livermore Labs and Stanford with a particle accelerator company. And so, as you know, a particle is like a very small, minute piece of an atom. So these particle accelerators, they could be anywhere from, I'm going to get this wrong, but say 5 miles to 15 miles, but these really large spans of where they would take a particle from one end to the other. And I'll share the link to this for you guys so you can review it or share it with your audience as well, where she describes this in her, brilliant words. But essentially, no humans can be in the room when they're doing this particle accelerator experience, because your thought can have an influence on what happens to this particle. For instance, if you're in the room and you just go, particle, spin around and do figure eights, the particles will do that. So that is the God spark. That is the part where we have this influence. So when Ron says that we can influence our devices and tell it what to do and how to respond to our bodies, is so accurate when you think about particle acceleration and how this God spark influence was what we have on all things. Because everything is atoms, everything is particles, because all particles have, or all atoms have particles. So I know that I asked you guys this a little while ago or a while back, but what is your experience, or what is your thought process about this God spark?
Do you want me to go first?
Tracy. So we had a discussion about 369 and how that interacts together with what's going on here on this earth. The God spark, to me, I'll let you know how I feel about it, is that creative element given to his children that they can create. We are creators, just as he is. We're learning. We're children. We're toddlers wandering around trying to figure it out, but it's within us. And what's interesting is when we begin to access tools like this, I consider this a tool, to help us direct in our frequencies. That gives us, I think, an ability to have help with how to do that. Now, I think a day will come as we ascend that we won't need tools anymore, right? We'll be able to do some things more organically, directly. But in the meantime, that's what we use. For many years, people have talked about this phenomenon of how our thoughts can literally direct matter, and matter obeys it. It literally will change. Dr. Otto in Japan showed this with all of his water experiments, where he would direct thoughts at water and then freeze that and then look at the crystalline nature of that water. And some of the most beautiful patterns unfolded when given good, loving thoughts. But when he directed negative thoughts, it looked jagged and discombobulated. It looked like a mess.
Distorted.
Okay. And isn't that interesting? As Ron talked about love, as we begin to love one another and give each other the space to be loved and to accept that love, we begin to create more beautiful things, because those thoughts are going out from our minds. And as we direct them with intensity, and this kind of gets into a discussion about intent, but we're moving to a world where intent is big. In fact, it's everything. Because if someone has an ill intent, we're going to know it right away. And that's just not going to be allowed in our society. We're moving away from those lower energies. And so as intention is the direction of thought magnified by our intent, right? If we focus on something directly and direct thought to that, matter will begin to obey that thought and take on the shape of that thing. You know, back in 1910, a man named Wallace Wattles wrote a book about this. He was a revolutionary in his time because many people didn't believe this at that time. But he said faith was the ability to direct a desire with intent out into space and have matter take that on. His book was about the science of getting rich. That getting rich wasn't just something that magically happened. It came by directed energy and thought. Very interesting, very forward thinking for a guy over 100 years ago to be explaining this in a book. But we've seen it manifest over and over and over. And many others have written books about this too, Napoleon Hill and others. They were looking for a goal, and their goal was, okay, we need to create money. But this is way beyond money. We're talking about the creation of life itself. And we get to participate with God in that process as we bring children into this world. That is a direct creation where we get to participate, and we get to love and nurture these children as they grow. And sometimes they make us crazy and we want to pull our hair out, but that's part of them learning
Sometimes we do.
to make decisions, right? And learning how to make wise decisions. I know Alex talked about wisdom. Wisdom tends to come from some pain, bumping into walls and whatnot. But I look at many times as myself as being still a toddler. Even though I've learned a lot about how this works, I still feel like I have so much more to learn. But as we begin to utilize things like this, we develop tools. I think it helps us to I hate to call it a training wheels, but I think it's somewhat like that. We're learning to grow and to develop and to direct even our bodies to heal themselves. This is giving us everything we need. It gives us that energy. It's like I liked Alex talk about it creates a cocoon in the house. Well, if your body is receiving all of the energies it needs for optimum production, for optimum health, and for every organ to do its job in the most magnificent way, that's what health is. And could we be any more wealthy than to have our health? I can't imagine wealth without health. I think they come together. I think it's important that we have them together because that is ultimately what this is about. I had some people ask me one time, they said, well, you can do a lot of things if you just have money. Well, and my response to that was this: who is the most abundant creature in the entire universe that you know of? The guy thought for a minute. He says, well, God, obviously, because he created the world. I said, yes. He doesn't go around talking about money. He creates. And all these projects we talk about, it's a creation. We're creating something to bless the lives of other people. And there's nothing but good that comes out of that. And it comes back to us sevenfold and beyond as we give to each other. And this is helping us learn to give more and to receive more. And so as we do that, there's a full expression of receiving. One guy asked me one time, he said, what do you do if you feel like you're in lack? And this was a wise person. I met him in a leadership conference. And I says, well, uh, if I'm sitting in a place of lack, it's usually because I'm thinking wrong about something. I'm not thinking about abundance. I'm not thinking about others. And he says, you're right. And he said, the fastest way to receive is to give. When we give, energy moves out from us to another, loving energy. What does that do? It leaves a place within us to receive. Because if we're all filled up,
Mhm.
how do we receive? We can't. But if we give to each other, now we can receive, and we receive from God all of his blessings. And it's so beautiful how it works. And so as we talk about God's part, to me, it's about us receiving from him this incredible ability to create something beautiful that helps and blesses others. We become more like him.
Beautiful. Thank you, Will. And I'm glad you brought up vision and intention, because essentially 369, Cynthia says vision, intention, action. So you brought that into the conversation. Thank you. Beautiful. Who wants to follow that one?
Let me, and we haven't heard from Alex for a little while. If is there some things that you would like to say, Alex? There's a couple of things that I'd like to say, but I'll wait for you.
I was wondering, I don't know if it's appropriate, but I wanted to read something that I was given by the Andromedans about isness. Isness is what they refer to as prime creator. Okay. And
Okay.
this is their opinion. This is their take on us and what it is that we should be doing. Now, this was 2/24 of 1995. So with your permission, it's not very long. I'll go through it very quickly. The worship of the isness, God, is silent, solitary, and free from all seeking. The silence is necessary as all speech is feeble and imperfect. Therefore, as with your ancestors and ours, their spirits and consciousness would ascend out of time and space to the isness in wordless adoration, feelings. There are no priests or saviors authorized to come between man or a woman or all souls and their creator. Each experience is personal and different than another, and should not in any way be meddled with and or judged. Each soul becomes conscious of the divinity that is in itself. There should be no shrines, no temples among you, except nature and the caretaking of nature by mankind. Be a real natural human being. Your real faith may not be formulated in creeds as you have been taught, but comes from a deeper portion of yourself that you have forgotten or ignore. Temples were built on your planet to honor and worship the extraterrestrial beings believed to be gods. This isness can be worshiped by honoring yourself and that which is given you. By honoring yourself, you honor the isness because you truly are one and the same. There's more, but I'll stop there.
That's beautiful.
Gosh, that's so beautiful, Alex.
You
Yeah.
know, the home housing unit, HHS, I got chills and I haven't even said it yet. These are all tools. Okay, the miracle is us, but these are all tools to help us realize the miracle and the potential of the miracle and the reality that we are all a miracle. That's my take on the God Spark. I'll keep it short and simple.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Remembering who
Love
we
that.
are.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, you can close this out. How's that?
Well,
You have all night.
I'll give my assessment of things, and if anybody wants to counter or add to, that's fine. When we're dealing with the concept, and I'll say the concept, because very few of us have ever had the ability to really understand Prime Creator. We kind of identify with things as having a body. Prime Creator does not have a body. He is pure intelligence. And being born of Prime Creator, we are in the image and likeness of him. I'm going to say him as in both together, male and female, because that's always together. But the portion of us coming out from Prime Creator, we are given an individualization of pure intelligence, pure love, pure everything of those divine states of being. That to me is the God spark. We have everything in us that Prime Creator has. We just have a small individuation of it. And yet we can say we're like Prime Creator because that's our Father. We are his children. A father doesn't have children from another species. We are God children. That means that we are small gods working out our individual ways of learning out who we are. If we project love to everything in our lives, then we're going to grow into an understanding of who we really are as creators. We create every experience in our life, whether we understand that or not, because that's who we are. We're creators, individuations of Prime Creator. Love is the greatest force in existence. If we use that as the primary part of our lives to share with other people, then it's always replaced. We can never give out all that we are. It's always being replaced because that's who we are. We're pure love. And as we share out with other people, then it gives them a chance to feel how important they are. You know, I'm going to give Love One Society a plug here. Love One Society has been given to us by the Alliance to use as a tool. There's 5 parts to it. Those parts together are designed for each humanitarian to have the use of the tools that will make them successful in their humanitarian efforts to give and help people to gain. And it's not just money. That's not, money is a representation of energy. It's the energy that you use to perform your labors to give to society. And when you build something, then with love, then it's somebody else purchases it with their love energy and it flows. Imagine if we had life where we were giving things that we love to each other. This is what it's all about. This is the new earth that's coming. When I say earth, there's some technical things you can get into, but it's going to be new to us because we won't have the bad people around that are going to try and stop us. And we're going to create the golden age of mankind. And we are given tools like this that are sacred technologies. We use those sacred technologies for the things that we want to do. Then we're adding to the benefit of what we're going to be in the future. Love is the thing. It always has been and always will be. You'll hear me talking about love a lot. Because I know its effect. I feel it from God, my Father. We're going to get there. There's no way to stop us. No way conceived that could stop us from being who we are. Because God is on our side and leading and directing us in the right path so that we can accomplish that. What do I have to say about my growth and development with the use of these kinds of devices? I say it's pure inspiration that comes because it works on the love that you have. It works not on but with the love that you have, because those frequencies are love frequencies. They will receive and give according to what you are and who you are. If you don't think they work, I suggest you try loving people, loving everything, and see if it might change the way that this will affect your body. That's my belief. I've shared that with Dr. Alfredo. Home healing device is a powerful device. It will reprogram these to do exactly what our bodies need. We can go away and leave that, but if we take this with us, then we have it all day long, reinforcing what the home healing system will do for us. So, if you don't believe that this is working, try changing the way you live your life, and you'll find a different way. Then this will show you the right way that it's working for you. So,
Well said, my friend.
I suppose that's what I need to say for today. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Ron.
And thank you, Alex. And thank you, Will. What tremendous
Thank
men you are.
Ron.
You know, Ron, you're coming along nicely.
Oh, well, I thank you.
Really
It takes
are.
one to know one.
We're all mirrors of each other, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I hope I'm not a mirror of you guys. No, just kidding.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're
enough
beautiful.
woman for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. No, you guys are just all so, I mean, I just love this call. I look forward to being in your presence because your wisdom is just exponential and it just feels so good. The love vibration coming from all of you is so valuable, and all of your followers, they're so honored and so fortunate to be able to sit on what you've created for them. So thank you guys for coming today. And for the listeners, if you want to hear some beautiful testimonials, I actually just created a new thing for Will that will go live tomorrow. And it's your Q Spark, Will. And but we have a great YouTube channel. It's just QHS. And we have, I don't know, over 400 or 500 videos over there already. And lots of good inspiration, which all of these wonderful gentlemen are featured on. So you guys, in honor of Valentine's Day, I'm sending lots of love your way. And thank you for being a part of my life and for being a part of QHS. We just love you all three so very much and look forward to next time.
Thank
So do
you.
we.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, it's been an honor, as always.